I've been gonna walk this way. Now I sound different. Nothing quite.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another edition, to a new installment of Hashtag Fade to Black. I am your host, Donna Alamonte Boris, here with my boy, my dog, my bruh, Beast Johnson. Beast, man.
How we doing this evening?
Yeah. First of all, yeah, see, I don't have a green screen behind me. I'm actually at my girlfriend's house. So no green screen today. Nothing but her bed rests right here and all that stuff. Other than that, there's so
We
much
call
to
that a
talk about,
hit.
man. I mean, yeah. so much to talk about, Beast. Just so much. Another shooting happened. Not even like weeks ago, days ago. We still wasn't over. Buffalo was a week that happened. And now we got another shooting. I know I'm kind of skipping to the after the opening statements, but I want to get your take, dog.
Um, well, we've proven, if anything, that white folks still got some white folk shit. And mass shootings of random innocent people, yeah, that's still on y'all. Because this last one was considered brown. Beige at best, but brown nonetheless. And they surely put a couple slugs in his chest. He didn't walk out.
Oh no,
The
he
boy
didn't.
in Buffalo, the live streamer who went on the kill streak. Oh yeah, he got that Dylan Ross treatment.
Oh yes,
So
he did.
colored folk, all you woke motherfuckers that just think that you can make people see you the way you want to be seen by you, meaning you want to act like a white person, they still gonna see your color.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
that's what
and
my whole little take off of that whole thing, aside from the obvious ignorance and tragedy. Just call a spade a spade.
right. So let's go ahead. As y'all can see, we got some new captions going on. I left a detailed voice message to all of y'all that I'm not going to disclose here, and this was one of them. And so this is going to be a whole new thing that's going to be with hashtag Fade to Black. We don't want this just to be a show, just to be a show. We do control the narrative. We will talk about the stories that are going on because I believe that every story that happens out there, indirectly or directly, affects us and why we should talk about them. Even stories you don't even hear about, we're going to talk about. But enough of that. Let's get into the opening statements. And I'm going to start that off. But first, before we do anything, shout out to Sky Zone Society as they will be our official sponsor for the whole duration of this show. And once again, I forgot to say this. I apologize for us starting off late. I had some things I had to do, and I just decided just to do the show right here, which explains once again why I do not have a green screen behind me. But enough of that. Let's get into these opening statements while I get everything set up, as the producer that I am. All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's get
Let's go.
in to these opening, once I find the cue, statements. So, just with me, getting up this morning, I was trying to figure out what in the world do I want to talk about? What do I want to do for opening statements? And I came across this new developing story about DL Hughley and Monique. Now, I was with Monique when she was going through it with Tyler Perry, um, what's his name, Lee Daniels, and Oprah Winfrey. After we found out that Precious, what she was when she was doing Precious, she was basically doing that for free and was underpaid. And then when Netflix lowball her for a series, to do a special, and finding out that everybody else was getting more than her, I was with her. Other than cancel your Netflix. That's not going to happen. Even though Netflix now they started to produce some good shows that I like, but then they was giving the green light to every show. But it's not about Netflix. I was with her. That's the point. Because Monique has a body of work that people just don't understand. She started off in the early 90s. I believe she got booed at the Apollo one time, and look at where she's at. But now she got smoked for DL Hughley. Now, one thing, when you watch YouTube videos and these so-called content creators, I said it, content creators, when they post out these things, post out these stories, it don't have a lot of context or details. They just give it the caption, oh, Monique slaughters DL Hughley, because this is one of the videos that I've seen with these type of freaking big topics. Or DL Hughley gets owned by Monique. And they just think just because you show one side, that's it. So me, doing my due diligence, doing my research, research over me search, in the words of Consciously, shout out. Come to find out, Monique was supposed to headline at the show in Detroit, which is kind of funny. Beast had on the Detroit Pistons shirt on. I mean, how the spirits work. She was supposed to headline. And from her point of view, she said, or somebody probably told her, that DL wasn't going to follow Monique, or Monique follow him. That he was going to be the closer, the headliner of the show. Apparently, allegedly. And Monique is also saying that in the contract, it has her as a headliner. And a lot of people jump on the bandwagon of Monique. Because I'm going to tell you why. And that's the biggest issue with us. A lot of people going to go against DL Hughley because of his views and a lot of things that he say. Like, sometimes I go into the comments of these videos to see what they're saying. Sometimes the reason why I don't do it all the time, because I know majority of them are trolls, or they're not even the person or the people that have their have the profile pictures. One or two, don't even have any videos. So right there just shows that you're not but a troll. But I'm curious just to see what the comments is. So a lot of the comments were against DL Hughley, and I can see why, because they think DL Hughley, when he talk about stuff about the Democratic Party and left-leaning stuff, black folks just wait. The pro-blacks wait until he slips so they can go at him and say all the things that they want to say to him. Yeah, he's tap dancing for master and da 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 da. These same exact people that sitting there say these things, that shop at a Walmart, that goes to a freaking bodega, or go to a freaking get their gas from gas station that's owned by Arabians, or have a 9 to 5 job where they're actually working for a white dude, or their supervisor's a white dude. But I digress. Me, I like DL Hughley. And a lot of people's also criticizing him, saying that he's not that funny. And I'm here to tell you that I can't agree with. DL Hughley's not that funny. He got funny catchphrases and all that stuff, but he's not that funny. But this man is politically savvy. This man has always said things that's to get off his chest, and he makes a whole lot of sense. But I never hear him pump up the Democrat Party. Yes, does this stuff sounds like what the Democrat Party is supposed to represent? Yes, but I never think that he said that he was a Democrat ever. Now, this is just coming from me. I don't think he's tap dance for master. But at the end of the day, DL Hughley also got a body of work too. DL Hughley was back in the heydays at almost the same time as Monique. But a lot of y'all gonna say, well, Monique won an award. A lot of y'all don't even watch award shows. So what you saying? And not to mention that role where she won that award, which was for Precious, it wasn't even a comedic role. It was a serious role. Even though I believe a serious role to me is whatever role, even if it's comedy. But let's keep in the context of what the industry put it as. Monique won an award that none of y'all has sat down and watched. Let's put that in perspective. Yes, that's a big marquee on her freaking resume. She won an award. But my thing is this. I always say it's a time and place to handle, your issues. There's a time and place for everything. But I'm gonna keep the same energy because I don't like things happening behind closed doors neither. I don't like everything being happening behind closed doors because you don't know what happened. Number two, you don't know what's been said, but now all of a sudden they come out of nowhere. Now all of a sudden we good friends now. When we try and wondering what the hell's going on. Y'all had this issue, you had this problem, but y'all went behind closed doors, and now all of a sudden y'all good friends. And then there are times where you should call somebody out there. If somebody's lying on you and you know that they're lying on you, you gotta call them out in front of the public. You have to get them on the spot, Johnny on the spot, or Jenny on. Agree with that. So, like I said, I'm keeping my energy on both ways. But for this case right here, definitely when we're talking about a contract that Monique allegedly said that she was the headliner, and allegedly DL said that no, I am not going to let Monique be the headliner. That's something that should be happening behind closed doors. That is something that should be talked about with both of their teams. Monique is wrong for this one. I don't care what anybody says because a lot of y'all sitting there talking about, well, Monique sounds like she got a point. She right. Never had a contract before you. A lot of y'all complaining about how high freaking Verizon's bill, your freaking phone bill is, and a lot of y'all don't read the contract. Don't read the fees that they charge or what you can and cannot do, but complain about how high Verizon bill is. But you signed a contract. We sign a lot of things in our lives, even on the internet, that we don't take the time to read the fine print. And I'm at fault at it. But the reason why I'm not complaining about it is because my dumbass signed it and didn't read it. Everybody in the military know what I'm talking about. When they say we signed our lives away, we literally did sign our lives away. Some feel that way. Some feel like, hey, I'm here now. So Monique is wrong. She's wrong for this one. Monique should have just went on with the show because apparently DL did not do the show. I don't know if he was even there. Monique should have just kept that mess to herself, didn't make a joke about it. Now she's bringing the whole world into it and make it into something that is not, where she could have just did the show, talk to DL and his team, or have a representative from her team talk to one of a representative DL team, like, yo, what's going on with the contract? I mean, just common sense. And then us black folks, we sitting there jumping at it like red meat and sitting there just dividing and conquering, and we wonder why we can't stay together or anything. So, not trying to drag on my opening statements because I love this graphic though. This graphic is nice. Monique's wrong. And I'm not saying this because I'm a DL fan, because I like DL and how he's politically savvy. But when it comes to like contracts or things that dealing with money, you don't need to put that out there to nobody. Monique, it worked the first time because you was right. But this right here, using that same thing for this one right here, DL's not as big as Oprah. DL's not as big as freaking Tyler Perry. You don't take that on stage and say that mess. In the words of you, Monique, and I'm gonna close it like this, and I'm a after this I'm gonna yield the floor. Monique, make it make sense. This is not helping you. This is making you look worse. That you don't even realize it. So, sister, make it make sense. And I yield the floor. Enjoy the graphics, Beast.
I do, man. I feel like I should have a button up and a tie and shit. Let me break the news. As we go through this battle of the sexes, we try to understand the difference between Mars and Venus. I think what we must always acknowledge is we're all the same due to the balance of our differences. Let's just take the aftermath of Adam and Eve leaving the Garden of Eden. Now, it was said that God punished Eve by showing her the true physical extent of childbirth. So women were forced to understand the true depths of internal pain. And that goes along and corresponds with one's emotions, one's mental state. Whereas Adam was forced to know the physical pain of having to actually provide for himself, that external. That's why men are tougher, more diligent, and durable, while women are more reserved and strong in their own right. That whole bit of strength has a mental and physical aspect. They're different, but they're the same. And together they balance out the equation. Women, y'all need to understand, because all this extra bullshit that y'all doing right now, and I'm speaking general, and I'm speaking to all women that feel as though to court a woman is a necessity of life for a man. It is an obligation and responsibility that is dignified and destined upon birth for men. That is not the case. Far beyond. And to just sum it up, when we say, or when a man asks, what do you bring to the table? We're really asking you is, why are you worth the investment? The investment in time, the investment in effort, the investment in mental fatigue and acknowledgement. We waste brain cells on y'all. So we just need to know at the end of the day, there's all this effort that we know we're supposed to put in to whatever degree. when it comes to you in that respect. Are you worth that effort? Are you worth that investment? Because whether the investment goes my way or not, if it's worth it, it's just a product of life and the market, if you will, I could take that on the chin. But if you over here pulling Ponzi schemes with your pussy, you gonna end up just like Madoff, locked up around a whole bunch of bitter ass bitches that fucked up in the same situation like you. You don't need concrete and bars to be in prison. My convicted felons know what I mean when I say that. But nonetheless, you gotta understand that balance. We're the same because we're different. It's shit y'all can do that we can't do. And the shit that's just natural for y'all to maneuver versus things that are natural for us to maneuver. And you have your exceptions and gray areas, but at the end of the day, it is what it is. And no amount of transmigration of the mind will force that mental perception upon the populace. Just because you think that you were 10 with 7 kids and 5 baby daddies, and you still ain't finished your community college degree in cosmetology, but I'm supposed to treat you like a pure chastised virgin. Really though? Really? Okay, so Rossawar, you think what you want. Like Bad Santa said, wishing one hand, shit in the other, see which one fills up first. That's all I can really say. At that little point, I yield the floor.
All right. We are back once again. This show was presented by Sky Zone Society. We'd like to thank them for being a partner with us. Going over a year and a half. Thank you so very, very much. They got their thing going on their YouTube page. Check them out. And also, you can check out their
Shouts out
hoodies,
to Games
photography.
Trains.
Mm-hmm. As you can see, their website strolling at the bottom. Give them a visit, give them a shout out, get some merch, and all that great stuff. Sky Zone Society is a proud sponsor of us. Thank you so very, very much. Now, with all that being said, Beast, what's going on, man? I watched. I'm gonna be real when I say this. I watched somebody else's live stream, and I feel that it was trolling when it came to, I think it was either Buffalo or this. I think it was this last shooting in Uvalde. If I said that right, if I said that wrong,
I could think of the individual you're speaking of. So yeah,
yeah,
you're pretty spot on about that.
yes, yeah. So rather than understanding what happened, the topic was banning guns rather than the discussion of just a mass shooting and then leading to the banning of, well, I won't say banning of guns, like gun control or whatever, dealing with gun policy.
Restructuring of controls and policies.
Right. And so I that's the reason why I gave y'all that message. And that's the one thing on here that we're not going to do is even though on his show he did had two people, I think two people that were against what he was saying, because a lot of them were saying that guns don't kill people, but stupid people kill with guns kill people. I want to debunk that shit. And let me tell you why. That is like saying AIDS don't kill people. People who don't use condoms that have AIDS get killed by AIDS. But it does
that's
not.
a lot right there.
Right. But that does not negate that AIDS is still a sexually transmitted disease that still kills people. It may not be as, big or in the news as much as it was in the early late 70s and 80s and 90s, even in the 2000s, just because, like, people saying nobody's not talking about COVID, but it's still out here. I'm still around people that's getting COVID left and right, left and right, left and right. I'm the only
Niggas
one
ain't
that's
talking
still
about diabetes, but folks still got gout.
I'm saying
Niggas ain't talking about glaucoma, astigmatism, or other ocular like afflictions. Yet niggas like me still fucking wearing glasses.
Right. And so
we can keep going. We can keep going.
Right. And then also I can use the example of cars. Cars are dangerous, but guess what? We still use them. We still drive them because we gotta get to work. We still drive them because we got to go party to go to. We still drive our car because maybe we just want to ride around. And some of us still got our, we still use our cars so we can go get our booty call. Just saying. Hoping my girlfriend not listening to me right now. But you get the gist of what I'm saying.
Fast food meat ain't real. Get your ass still went and got in that line and got that 99-cent special or that 5 for 5.
Right. And so when I hear that, I'm like, do y'all understand the fuck what y'all saying? Because
do you not properly think?
Right. And so with me, because it's funny, I got range week coming up this week, going to the range because it's an annual training that we do. And because if it was just a person that makes that weapon dangerous, then the safety, when it comes to the safety part, when we have to brief, the safety brief, it will just be on us. It's not the weapon. It would be more of us like, look, I know that's, it's like saying y'all are mentally deranged. I know a lot of y'all are trigger happy. I know a lot of y'all seen things. So be careful with this weapon. Be careful because just one hit of the trigger, y'all PTSD kicks in. So if we go talk about crazy people with guns kill people, then the issue is the person. And that is not the case.
The question comes, what defines that particular person under the umbrella term of crazy? Because crazy is a what? State of being. It being the what? Mental faculties. So you're pretty much just saying mental health. So that goes back to my point. Psychiatric evaluations.
Right. And the funny thing is, we're putting it on the person, but we're forgetting that the weapon, the AR-15, is still dangerous. And I remember when when NAF, you remember NAF, that one black military group that went down to the KKK's backyard, and he did a demonstration because he got a military background. Grandmaster J, that's what he was, and he did a demonstration of how an AR-15, well, he had an M16, how that sucker can fire by itself. You could just hit the
Any
damn
gun.
buck stop, yeah, or any weapon. You drop a weapon, that sucker will shoot by itself. You drop an M16 on the buck stop at the correct way without the safety, that shit will fire. Definitely when it's got a loaded chamber. And then this black what do you call him, gun instructor. I guess he had back in the Marines. He did the most stupidest rebuttal or trying to debunk what Grandmaster was saying. He basically put his M16 in front of him and was like, "Go ahead, shoot, fire, fire." And I'm like, dude, you missed the whole fucking point. He basically showed people who had a freaking M16 or a modified version or an AR-15, and basically showed them, if you're not careful, this gun can fire at any time without you pulling the fucking trigger. That's all he was saying.
It's deeper than that, because this is, I guess, one times I'm thankful for having ADHD, and I see shit for what it is, and so I can put it together. I'm like, okay, at the end of the day, any physical manifestation, structure, weapon, tool that was formed from man has a level of safety precautions with it. Why? Because no matter how perfectly designed, perfectly efficient, perfect in whatever sense you want to use that item is, you cannot calculate human involvement, aka human error. It's the same reason why you got to be taught how to not only hold a hammer, but have one around you when you're in the midst of doing things. Why? Because if you're not fucking paying attention, that's one easy way to split something, crack something, but all around fuck something up.
Right.
That you most likely you got the money at that moment to get your bewitch on it, make it easy to go away. So no matter where you want to equate it, insert like a Mad Lib. Tools, industrial, weaponry, manufacturing, technology, whatever the fuck you want to put in there. The second a human being has to physically interact with it to whatever degree, you now have a heightened level of danger and mishap that can come from it. So when you're talking about things like guns, which are qualified as weapons, and weapons are only used to defend to the extent of maim and mortally wound. So these are what? Objects of death. Because their whole purpose and use is to make sure somebody don't come home, and if they come home, they'll never be the same. Yeah. So yes, you must have fucking common. If they have to have a safety video to know how to work a regular goddamn hammer, and there's safety precautions behind it, then why wouldn't it be one for a fucking AK-47 or AR-15? A simple, a goddamn simple revolver will go off wrong if you ain't cleaning it, if you ain't taking care of it, and if you yourself, hell, look at 1,000 Ways to Die. A motherfucker shot himself with his own 30 aught. Yeah, how did he shoot himself?
I've seen that episode.
How did he headshot? You saw it, the hunter.
Yep, the hunter.
So you know exactly what the fuck I'm talking about.
Yep.
Through a final destination cavalcade of fuckery, this man inadvertently shot himself without having the gun anywhere on his physical person at that moment. But he interact with it. It was around him up until the moment of separation. That separation led to his separation from this earth.
Right. And see, people don't want to talk about that. They just think
people don't want to sit there and really think about it. They just want to. Well, I'm gonna beat this down and then go back and be a hypocrite, because the same logic that applies to an AR-15 would apply to cars, like you said earlier. There's a reason why they got fucking professional stunt driver, clothes and because you stupid son bitches would try that shit.
Right. And the thing is, when you hear gun control, I love these pro gun guys, they will have on gun control is with the hands around the gun. I was like, yeah, when that sucker shoots you the wrong way, guess who have those hands on the gun now? Nobody.
It ain't about. It's not. It's not about the hands. It's not. It's not about the. Let's be. We want to talk about gun control. Let's be honest. Because I'm an '80s baby, and I've
Same here.
been the first guns I ever held and fired off was my granddaddy Mac 11 that he got from war, and my daddy's semi-automatic shotgun. And that was back then it could hold up to 4. This was the '80s, so it was about 4 to 6 shells. This before you get the spazzes that we got out now.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I was 6 years old. I'm 6 years old in the house, letting them things go off in the backyard. Thank God we had woods in the backyard.
Mm.
You talking about gun control? My father hid the shit, but he hid the shit in areas where I know you're hiding something. So I'm gonna fucking find out what it is. And eventually, my little smart ass put 2 and 2 together. Hey, these are gun shells, but they're big. I find a gun that's big. It's got holes that look like it could fit them slugs that I found up there on top of the fridge some time ago. Let me go get them slugs. Do, 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 do.
And you
click.
know, yeah. And see, you lead
Gun control.
and see, look, you're leading into the point of what I was going to talk about next.
I'm proving the
About
point of what you're
connection with
about to
these
say.
shootings, which, yeah, look, for me, I do believe that we should have more restriction on guns, not
Yes.
taking them away. I believe that everybody should own a weapon. I don't care what type of weapon you own. If you own an AR, like I ain't gonna lie, I wouldn't mind having an AR around the house, but you know my girlfriend, she's not a proponent for guns. You know, but I'm
However
a
you
shotgun
need to
guy.
defend yourself.
Right.
No. Yeah, me too.
Right.
Shotty and a rifle if I got to shoot you. But if you get in the
Right.
house,
It's a
the
wrap.
last day no. If you get in my house, you gonna wish I shot you.
Right.
I got a whole bunch of other shit. I got a whole bunch of other shit in here.
I believe you. And then also the dad for the over his daughter, like, yeah, every girl they have, you gotta get a weapon for when their boyfriend or their husbands get out of line.
At
But
least a
that's what
shovel. At least a shovel. That's like
right.
that's like mandatory.
Right. So you got that. So I'm not going for this. The government going to take your guns. First of all, the government's never ever going to take your guns. As long as that Second Amendment is still there, they're never going to take your guns. I don't know where the hell that came from, but people still say that. Well, mainly
They will
white folks.
never take your arms, and by arms, that they're your means of defense. So just like they won't take your
Right. If this
guns.
country,
So us geeky ass folk, they not gonna come take our knives, our blades, our hatchets. I'm gonna share these for our
right,
more oriental minded katanas. I said, no. If I needed to fuck you up before you fuck me up, they're not coming for it. The Second Amendment says that. It's my American
right,
God given right. Don't tread on me,
right,
bitch.
right. So as long as the Second Amendment is never that amendment never going to be amended or taken away, the government's never going to take your guns. So let's stop bringing that up. And then
No.
my other thing is this: when you got kids, because I believe this dude in Buffalo, he was 18 years old. Correct me if I was wrong. I know he was pretty young.
Both
Young.
of them. The last two, they was hella young.
Yeah, I think they're both 18. So just going off the person in Buffalo, it's disrespectful that he had on a military uniform, which had in my mind thinking that the government should have a law putting that nobody should wear military uniform unless they are currently serving or even if you finish serving, you should not be wearing military gear outside of a military facility or a military post. That's just me. That just popped in my mind because this guy had. You could have thought that he was a service member with all that fatigue he had on, as we call OCPs.
He
But
was ready for live action Call of Duty.
right,
That motherfucker thought he thought he was doing a VR Black Ops mission.
I'm surprised that nobody, even people from the right that are military, I'm surprised none of them ain't came out and sit there and say, why is this dude disrespecting the military? But I digress. I guess we got selective crises, selective, where should we go crazy for? That just hit me the other day. But these two terrorists they knew where, like what you were saying, knew where their parents' weapons were, knew how to use them. Now, a lot of people sit there say it's mental health, or it may not be the parents. He probably well, I understand that's mental health, but here's the other point that I'm making with that too. They just say that's primarily mental health, or that he learned this on the internet. That could be part of it, but to make it the whole thing is bullshit. I'm gonna tell you why, because that shit is taught. You, like you said, you didn't grab a weapon and instantly knew how to shoot it. Your dad and your uncle showed you how to fire a gun, how to break it down and put it back together again. Me going in the military,
as far as somebody
is showing the military.
Yeah. Once again, it's 80s.
Yeah,
we saw some shit. This is 80s. We are the generation that was just said, go out there and come back. Please, not even a please, just come back.
So, right, it's but they gotta show you how to use the weapon first, because you got, and this is in Buffalo, New York. Now that's North New York, which is kind of countrified if you think about it.
Yeah, it really is.
This is countrified. It's not like New York, New York. We talk about Buffalo, New York. So they're in rural areas in Buffalo, like the rural areas in the South, even rural areas here in East Washington, that teaches their kids how to use a weapon, taking them apart, put it back together again, how to load it and how to shoot it. I promise you, both of those kids, no, let me stop calling them kids. Both of these domestic terrorists were shown how to use those weapons, and they knew where the weapons were. And I guarantee you, their parents just put it anywhere. I guarantee you, they probably put it
not their own weapons. Now, at this day and age, is like the one the last one, the one that went to trial and got off. He was the one that crossed state lines.
Rittenhouse.
Rittenhouse, yeah. Little shit. That's just the only thing I call them, just little shits. But yeah, his mama got his. So either it's from your parents purchased it for you, and that tackles on the mental health of it, because if you got antisocial personality, that's a nice way. It used to be called introverts, but now it's just a nice way to say you're a sociopath. And if you're a sociopath, it's very fucking easy to get around shit like that, get the access to it. If you really put your mind to it, and you're a smart enough sociopath, yeah, like that white boy, yeah, he's a sociopath. Because only a fucking sociopath will go to the extent to make a statement like that, knowing good and goddamn well this was a fucked up whole situation. Not only am I gonna kill people, not am I gonna kill black folk, but I will keep, because I watched the live stream. I watched his live stream. Fuck everything else. I watched that boy's live stream as he murdered them folk.
Yeah, I see it too.
That was a live action kill streak session of Black Ops or Call of Duty. The way that man went in there was moving. I have seen countless gamers move in that function in that manner, even down to the corner, to the catch and the cover instantly into the reload. I'm watching this man as if he's a fucking game. And these are real bodies on the ground. That shit is. Can you hear how this is? I need a good drink right now to talk about this.
Yeah, Beast. I actually, my boy actually sent it to me because he had family. He's from Buffalo. He got family up there. Thank goodness his family is good. When he sent me that video, I was surprised that he had it, and I seen it. And Beast, I can't elaborate much more what you said because I'm like, when I'm looking at this, I was like, it's like a mix of Grand Theft Auto, how he drove up there, and Call of Duty. How he literally got out the car, and I think the woman said something to him like, "Hi, how you doing?" Da-da-da. And she just went down. And how he just
dropped
went up
two.
and
I watched that man drop two bodies, hit the corner, and reload. Now, for like by the time he dropped two outside, then two more, then he dropped the first four. Cover. I was like, what the? No. And to have. This is why Ice-T and them made them songs back in the day. This is why we had Public Enemy, Fight the Power. This is why we gonna get a resurgence of Cop Killer.
Yeah, because
you shot the brown boy. You should have shot every last fucking one of them first and foremost, especially with the kids. No, you don't live for some shit like that. I don't give a damn. You fucking with babies, nigga, you got to go right there. And it is God's will and justified right that you not waste taxpayers' money on your further existence on this earth.
When he shot that one older woman another time, that set me. I mean, it set me over when he shot the first two people outside the store. But
set me off when he saw that white dude said,
but
sorry,
that part right
there, motherfucker.
That part. Like I said,
I couldn't have shot
when he overkilled the older woman, but when he skipped that white dude, he said that he was sorry. I was like, I'm done. I'm
gonna say this, and I'm only speaking for Alexander Lamont Roddy, aka Beast Johnson. These are my thoughts alone. If you rock with it, I understand. If not, I understand. I really don't give a damn either way. But to each and every one of you melanated law enforcers that was there from that moment to now, this motherfucker still alive. Y'all ain't shit.
Yeah, that's exactly
y'all
what
ain't shit. You're a disrespect to your profession. You're a disrespect to the fucking badge. You're a disrespect to your fucking bloodline. You're a disrespect to your fucking ancestors. You are a disrespect to your fucking God and gods. This is my heel, and I will be the last motherfucker to die on. Y'all ain't shit.
Yeah. And this
I'm sorry. It's some shit. Some shit I don't give. It's some shit money can't get over. It's some shit I'm worth dying for. That motherfucker wouldn't have made it.
No. And that's the crazy
I would have
thing.
shot that motherfucker in. Yeah, so you do know. Anybody that knows me, if you ain't figured out by now, I mean every goddamn thing I say with impunity and moral righteousness. I will go back to jail and smile for my entire being, especially for some shit like that. You think I give a damn about? No. He obviously didn't give a damn about his life, so I'm going to make his effort worth it. You get to die, right. And you got to die. I don't give a damn if I got to shoot you in front of my captain. No, motherfucker. You are not to live to see the end of that night. Fuck that.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
We had a time. we are coming close to that time where the freaking straw is breaking the camel's back, but it seemed like it's a whole lot of straws that's on that camel's back, and that camel's moving like it ain't no thing. And beast, the settlement that you just said, I say the same thing too, because I'm sitting there and I went on another video, Comedy Hype News. Anybody who watched Comedy Hype, love the guys over there. I agree
So
with their commentary. I got you. I got you. I'm trying to hold together too over here. But
apologies.
Pierre,
Apologies.
I got Pierre, who is half black, half white. His white side been coming out as late, and he was saying, "Well, we shouldn't be." I'm paraphrasing what he was saying. He's basically saying if he submit to the police officers when they came up in there, there's no need to kill him. And I was like, Pierre, what the fuck are you saying?
Bitch, you shot a child.
You shot a child.
You hurt a baby.
You shot an elderly woman. You not only shot her, you unloaded half a clip on an elderly lady that you already killed. Then you see another patron that looked like you, and you said sorry in the most innocent way, which that's like I said, that's what I said. I'm done. And this man, for me being in the military, is being basically giving the freaking A+ service of the police in Buffalo out of the freaking grocery store. Like he just showed up and just showed a rifle and didn't shoot no damn body. And the police wonder why they're so fucking hated. And I got another thing, and now I'm gonna tie in with what happened in Texas. That kid didn't come back alive. They fired on his ass, and the police didn't even go in. Waited 40 minutes. 40 minutes and didn't make a move. Hopefully Beast come back. But for 40 minutes, ladies and gentlemen, and didn't do a thing. And did giving out conflicting stories of like they had officers up in there and they got injured and all this stuff. This is beyond, for me, this is beyond gun control. It's beyond gun control. We have to understand that America has been America since the first settlers stepped foot in this country. We have to understand that even on Memorial Day, right? Today is Memorial Day. Rest in peace to all the soldiers. Rest in peace to all the airmen. Rest in peace to all the Marines. Rest in peace to all the naval men and women. Rest in peace to all the Coast Guards. You did your time. Thank you for your service. I see y'all as legends. But America wouldn't be America if blood was not shed or for a blood of somebody else that wasn't shed. And I'm not talking about soldiers. What happened?
All the soldiers done died for this country to get to the point they said.
Right. And for what happened in Buffalo, where now you are fearful. You are fearful of going to shop. And it could be just getting a simple thing of milk. Or just or if you actually do have to go grocery shop to pick some stuff up. Now you tell me I got a word for my life when I'm just going to get some Oreo cookies or getting baby formula for my kid or getting something for my wife. I now
Because
have to worry
Project
about
folk,
that.
it sounds
And
normal. And that's the saddest part to me. As he's talking, I'm just kind of laughing like, damn,
right.
it sounds like the whole world done turned into the hood now.
And the
Can't
funny
even
thing
look.
is, and that's the crazy part. If nobody didn't know that these shootings happened, and I'm explaining this, they would have thought the same thing you thought. Yup, another black on black crime. And then
No, no,
when I
no.
and
Not
then
even black
and
on
then
black. Just another
no,
day in the hood.
right, and see, I'm saying people that don't look like us will be like, yup, another black on black crime. But then when I flip it and be like, well, this was done by a white kid. Oh, that's mental health. You fucking serious? And then to tie it up, what happened in Texas, once again, those police officers ain't did a goddamn thing. It's
They
funny.
did.
You got police officers that basically just escorted this dude that killed what 13 people,
Man,
and then
let's be real. Let's be real. The reason why they say mental health in reference to white folk, historically speaking, scientifically, and medically speaking, all certified existence of mental health that we have currently structured and founded today was based off of the fucked up ass heads of white folk, white dudes. It's why we have terms that we have actual sexual orientations. We have all these different mental afflictions that everyone goes through, but it's not classified and taken serious until the white man goes through.
sorry, we just say all that like so much put to my mind because
You just like, hold on, I open that third eye.
right,
Because now
and
you sit
so
here, you sit here and thinking about it. It's like the only thing medically that black folk done did is we've successfully created procedures, or we've successfully been involved in procedures, i.e., Tuskegee.
right, and then to tie it up because I think it was I could be wrong. I think it was 8 that lost their lives in Buffalo, and then you got 13 or more that little
Hey,
kids,
yeah, we can't get over that. Like it's babies.
babies in an elementary school. We talking what K through probably 3rd grade, maybe
And like
elementary.
this the shit that trips me the fuck out about this though. Like so much. I'm reminded of the first time like my dad really flipped that on me on some shit that had nothing to really do with me. It was one of those black moments. But I took a little toy gun, I fucked around and had a little toy, like one of them little like Cracker Jack toys. I'm a little kid, so it fits in this palm of my hand. But school found it because it was in my pocket or whatever, and they ended up saying it. They made a big fuss about it. I'm like, it's a little ass like toy gun. Like it ain't even got no little thing on there where it would be a trigger. And my dad flipped the fuck out on me. And he was like, you don't know how they would like. He was just like, thank God they were smart enough to realize that had somebody else had a dummy saw that, I might have lost my son.
And so
And to see this shit now, it's just like the man was ahead of his time.
yeah.
But he saw how fucked up these people was and how fearful you got to be nowadays
Yeah.
with the children is for reasons like this.
Yeah. And so to correct myself, it was actually 10 in Buffalo that well, actually I was right. It was 13 that got shot, but 10 died. 3 are surviving from their injuries. And the shooting in Texas, I believe it was 13 as well, which if I'm right, that is eerie.
I think it was closer to 20. I think like 18, 19, including the shooter. The bulk of them were kids, and I think it was at least It was like
one teacher, one to
two,
two teachers.
one or two teachers, like two teachers, him, and then the rest were the kids.
Yeah, I mean, and here's the
But
thing that
I,
here's the thing
it,
people gonna miss, and they gonna still gonna miss him.
we're gonna forever
And
miss.
I said it when you clicked off. This is beyond guns. This is beyond guns.
It is.
People had to understand this country was built on mass murder and mass shootings, and we're not
And that's
just
where the
talking about
mentality.
not. Yeah, we're not talking about schools anymore. We're not talking about sporting events. We're not talking about that. We're talking about, like I said, since the first settler put his foot on this country, they've been doing this shit.
Genocides.
It's and dude, we don't know the motives for what this kid did in Texas. I don't
I
know.
really don't. I really
We
don't
never
give
go
a
know.
fuck. I mean,
And
I'm
that's
sorry.
true.
At certain points, fuck the reasoning. I don't want to. I'd rather waste time and effort figuring out how we could legally kill him in the most inhumane yet legally humane way. Like, can we give him like? Can we legally give him a lethal injection like in law-abiding citizen? Can we get away with
Well,
that?
but see, BC goes back to what you were saying. They shouldn't be walking out at all. The same thing that happened to the dude in Texas
Yeah.
should have happened to dude in Buffalo. And this right here,
But that
if
just
anybody
answered
who's
the question. That answered the question. All color folk that was like, it's gonna be the same if for like I said, them fake woke folk that think skin tone still don't mean nothing. That Texas was darker than Buffalo.
yeah.
Texas was summer Buffalo, basically. Let's just keep it real. Texas was summer Buffalo with a dye job.
Mm.
Both of them about the same bill. Boy from Texas, he was probably half white like Zimmerman, but he just got a darker shade. Why? Because he's in Texas and it's fucking hot as shit out there. If you saw my black ass in Texas, I look like I was fucking from Nigeria because it's hot as shit out there. But I digress.
Okay,
Point being, when them police saw his dark ass, instinct and training took over.
Oh, Beast, I was about to touch on that.
And that's why I say mental health. And to the point you said earlier about it's historical. I'm glad you said that, because it's this game I've been doing at work where the white females, and you call it racist, whatever the fuck you want to. I do with everybody in general, but mainly just the little white females, because I'm a dick. But it's called manifest destiny. And if you really listen, you know what manifest destiny is. But for a quick summation, for historical reference, manifest destiny is the mental mindset where all that you survey, that which you desire, that which you feel is though is a necessity upon your life, is your right by God, whatever that name of the God you may choose. It was God, your God, that led you to this place to see these people, to facilitate your needs. That is manifest destiny. That's basically what the white folk did when they start going west. Hey, we're trying to go west, and you're in our way. So either get in line or get under the line, or walk, motherfucker, till we tell you to stop. Trail of Tears. So I just randomly walk up to them and you should like take their phones, especially when they're on the phones and they're supposed to be doing work. And I just look them up, manifest destiny. And I walk away. And I'll put it in I'll keep it for like 5-10 minutes, but that's the mental faculties that we're talking about here. You got people that have these type of mentalities, have these type of understandings. And if you don't do your due diligence to understand the subtle cues that a person might have that type of mindset to a degree, and then really understand whether you need to keep an eye on them. Like I said, I got antisocial personality because that's one of the first two things they diagnosed me with as a kid: ADHD and what they call now antisocial personality. I was an introvert, but that's saying I'm sociopath. I don't understand people. I like once and all that other bullshit. Yeah, there's some truth to it if you put me in that mindset. Nonetheless, I understand truly motherfuckers that be in these type of situations. I myself have gotten to that dark place where hell, if it wasn't for the guy putting that court in front of me and making me get that court appointed therapy, we wouldn't be having this podcast right now. Because if I lived, I'd still be doing life in feds. Because I was actually plotting Columbine a couple months before Columbine actually happened.
Wow.
And I was 14.
But and the funny thing is,
these things we got to talk about, because you get the wrong people out there. We have these situations and they're becoming more prevalent now because people don't want to talk about. People don't want to admit, yeah, something wrong. Everybody got something fucked up in their head. Everybody.
right? Excuse me. Yeah, and Beast, you just hit on a part that for you it may be just a personal thing, but it's a big thing. Where you just said that you was thinking about Columbine before it happened,
and I was plotting. I know. I was actually plotting, planning. Yeah, everything that them two boys did during Columbine, I was doing minus the A by myself and B minus the actual guns. You know, I could probably get a hold of one good gun, but most of it was just gonna be me violently stabbing people. And at that point, I had enough martial arts training to know where to stab you and how to hold the blade to stab you.
But that is symbolic of where Black people, including Mexicans, are.
All color folk. We all got them shit. All color folk. All folk. Period.
Is this the straw that's going to break the camel's back? Because the police across the board, if you want, I mean, there's plenty of times where they fucked up, but they had
if the news pick up on the fact that Texas got shot and he was darker than Buffalo, if at least one verified news agent get a good story, get at least two well-worded people to talk about for more than 15 minutes. Oh yeah, y'all gonna have to say y'all gonna have to do something because it's gonna happen again.
But it showed that the police structure is broken. It showed it.
It shows the police. It shows the police structure for what it. We're now finally seeing how the hot dog is really made.
Yeah, and
not just the casings. We're seeing what meat is being put together to make the filling. This is what we're seeing, people.
Yeah, and here's the thing. This is my solutions to it. My solution is this. Now, a lot of people say you should go out and vote. You should go out and vote, which is true, but that's part of it. Here's the other part. This is why we keep preaching on the show, include myself. I've been a proponent of it. We should be more active in our communities. This is what happens when you're not active in your community. People think being active in your community is protesting everything. This is why I say protest does not work. Why? Because it's just throwing shit to a wall, hoping that it sticks. Yeah, it stains, but guess what? The shit ain't sticking. To be active in your community, you got to put people in position of power so you're not going through this every day. This is why you have town hall meetings. This is why you have city hall meetings. This is why you're supposed to go to the teacher and student conferences. You just can't sit there and go to it's funny now with all these shootings, because even between and even before all these mass shootings, they still have cops out there still killing young black men, black women, and they're going to these town hall meetings and they're packed. But I'm keeping the same energy from the last show. This should not be the only thing that brings you to a freaking town hall or a city hall meeting. You should be there packed every time an event is being held. If you do not like the taxes that's being charged in your community, you should be at those town hall meetings telling your committee leaders no, no, and why. And then putting them on account and telling them, if you don't do this, I'm voting your ass out. Because your term is coming up soon. And this one person that's running to get you is sounding pretty damn good. Maybe they should take your job. See, people want to talk about mainly us. I don't know what's going on with black people when it comes to voting. They just think if I don't vote, I have power. Dude, no, you don't. You don't have power. I'm going to tell you why. I always said, and y'all can go back to all the past shows when I said this, and I'm going to say it again. Y'all talk about the LGBTQ community. Oh, their stuff is putting out there. They're getting all these laws and all this stuff passed. You want to know why? Because they're organized. They're actually active in the damn community. They got people in position of power, even renting politicians to push their freaking issues and turn them into everyday agendas. Well, the Jews, they got all this stuff going on and all that stuff. Because the Jews are organized. They got people in the position of power. Even politicians you didn't even know that have Jewish heritage. Why you think freaking we giving money to freaking Israel as much as we do? Because the Israel Jew is organized. They getting billions and billions of freaking dollars to sit there and slaughter Palestinians over there, which would be a different topic, different story for next time. But they're organized to get that billions of dollars. And the sad thing is, our ancestors were the blueprint of that. They were the blueprint. And it wasn't because they wanted to, it's because they had to. Let's stop saying, well, black people, we our families were together. We never did it interracial, because you would get killed if you was caught with a white woman. One. No, number two,
you would die if your presence was associated to a white woman.
Right. And
then you didn't have to look at the bitch.
Right. Dude, you could have mentioned her name and that could have got you killed.
No. No, that bitch could have just seen you. That was good enough to die.
And then number two, they couldn't put their businesses over there with the whites. It was a thing called Jim Crow. Segregation, county lines. So you had no choice but to work with your people. And like I said, the reason why all these chocolate cities went burning down to the damn ground was because they got lackadaisical and they kept having their kids, or they kept having their own family members working for the white folks. And when something went wrong, they didn't call up anybody from the neighboring chocolate cities to help them out or anything like that.
Because it was never about a network of self-sufficiency.
Right.
It was about sustainable cohabitation. That's why they never worked. They thought if we could show you white folk that we could do y'all, we could do y'all and just do y'all for us. Y'all, respect that, leave us alone. That's what they was thinking. Is like, well, we don't need that. Fuck that. Still keep that thing on.
But right there, my point exactly. they didn't have their own freaking militia, because people fail to forget these Black Wall Street just didn't just grow because of entrepreneurship. No, it was because of the veterans coming from war, mainly from World War II, coming in, doing business with each other and combining that money and creating these damn businesses. Now I understand the brother, I forgot the brother's name, that started in the at Black Wall Street in Tuscaloosa. He actually gave everybody a loan, but majority of the growth was because of the World War II veterans, and you can say that for all the chocolate cities. I guarantee you, majority of the business owners were veterans. But the issue was they did not use that training that they had in World War II and had their own little militia, like the white folks had the KKK. They're like, well, we need to stay. Like, if you stay ready, you don't have to get ready. They just lost
and
that
they didn't
mindset.
understand. They didn't understand the true depths of what what they were doing. Like
Right. They just
when it
thought
came to the
as long.
Klan, it was more than just are we a militiaman. It's like because we are together under this umbrella and we got this type of unity. Now we're sharing our respective skill sets and assets amongst our brethren.
Right.
We're
And
building from within.
and this is the blueprint that our ancestors created, that other cultures and groups are using. And we're talking about it like we never ever had something like that ever before.
We were
It's
doing
like
it in Africa.
having it's like inviting people to come in your house, but you're inviting so many damn people in your house. Now they calling it their house, and the house is still in your name. But now you got so many of them up in there because they're inviting their peoples up in there. You got no control no more, and that's how I see it. And we have to understand that
We just
they're
gotta put our foot down.
organized. Right, all these organizations are organized. They're organized. We're not. This is why we're not getting no reparations anytime soon. And we need to
This is why the
leave that.
churches. This is why the churches are building the way that they are. Do you think these churches they get these big ass churches? I for my family church, we moved into what you would call like a big church. You know, you could do mega churches, got a balcony and everything. We also had members that were licensed electricians, landscapers, had businesses and all, anything that needed to be facilitated or sustained within that church. Members did it. If there wasn't a member that was already knowledgeable and had a business in it, then they was passing that knowledge to the youngest, like me, and had us doing the grunt work. That's how I learned to do a lot of shit that I know how to do now, fixing up churches.
But see, going back to my point, they're organized.
We're not together. Exactly. That's
No,
why I use the church as an example. Because they're able to,
right, and
they're organized. They know they know I can use, I have these set of members for this particular facet. I can use these members. Even when it comes down to cooking and cleaning, I got these members that'll get in with the cooking. I got these members that ain't got no problem cleaning up at the folk. They got that shit structured out.
right,
And they facilitate staying the whole fucking church that and get them niggas to pay in and do all the grunt work.
and see, and that's right there. I always be. You can tell me if I'm wrong. I've been preaching super PAC, super PAC, super PAC, a super PAC where you can groom those politicians, and then another super PAC to turn those issues into agendas.
That's why I say consortium, because I want it all.
This is why November is so important.
This is why we go back to this point of vote. When you say, why don't we vote? Your vote is like drug money. Your politicians, your local politicians, are your pushers.
Yeah.
Now, if you consistent with your vote and you consistent with that particular politician and everything that they about, and you make sure that politician know of you, they know of you, they know your presence to whatever degree,
That
then
part.
you like the more they
That
know of you.
that part.
When it come to drug dealers, I tell this like this: how you get fronts? You get fronts off doing business. Ain't no motherfucker about to front you off straight face value. Why do they front? Why will they front me? They'll front me because I've been buying from these niggas for years, over 5 years to 10 years in certain cases. In certain cases, over 10 years. I am a loyal customer. Not only am I a loyal customer because I only fuck with good quality. If you end up around me, you want quality, they accessible, I'm gonna hit them up. So I'm constantly adding on to their clientele. Just off the fact of, if y'all want this, I know I can get it from them. So they ain't got no problem. If my money's short, well, they always look out. They'll throw me a tab because they know I'm gonna pay it back. B, they know I'm gonna bring them in some money regardless. Either it's gonna be my money or some other way. Either way, they know they're gonna continue to get money off of me and get money from me. That's how you
And
build that pro. That's my vote. They
beast,
constantly see
beast.
me at them goddamn at these. They know my name when they be out here on their little block trying to get their face out there. They see my face. They done spoke to me. They done seen me at least a handful of times when they expect to see my face at them events.
Beast, and that is the root of the point I was about to bring up. Because one thing, because let me go ahead and
You
address
gotta use drugs. You gotta
the
use drug talk
people.
for most black folks nowadays. Just saying.
Right. Let me address all the people that come after people like me that vote Democrat or voted for Joe Biden that they don't understand, and the reason why they're gonna be in the same position that they are now that they was the year before, and it's going to continue to happen. Yes, I voted for President Biden. I didn't like 45. Did I expect all the things that what he's doing right now lackluster? Yes, I expect that.
Pretty
But see,
much.
y'all don't understand a thing called a business decision. Because if
Mm-hmm.
you understand business, not even just business, your life is a business. You are a businessman and a businesswoman. Tell me a decision that you had to make that you didn't like. Think about it. Where somebody had to give you the ultimatum of
Some
doing
of those
something
decisions
that
got
you don't want.
names.
Right. Those decisions where you literally have to be told you got to make it now or we're going to make it for
Mm-hmm.
you. None of y'all
Mm-hmm.
don't understand that. So for all y'all to sit there and criticize people like myself that voted for Joe Biden, that knew that Joe Biden is, yes, he's not going to be the best, but he's going to be better than the person there before, you don't understand business. What do you, how can I put it?
You
I
gotta
wouldn't want you
walk.
to
You
run
gotta
my
crawl
damn.
before you walk.
No, no. I wouldn't want you to run my business. I wouldn't even want you to work in my business because if you sit there saying, "Well, I ain't gonna do no work," but expect me to pay attention to you, or for you to be a CEO of my company, and you can't make a decision because you don't like it, two things are going to happen. Number one, I'm gonna fire you. Number two,
Yeah.
I'm gonna embarrass you in front of everybody, and I'm gonna take your position away, and I'm gonna drop you to the lowest position in my business if I still think that you're valuable. Because in the military, even with the police officers, you got that split
Mm-hmm.
decision. You may not like it, but you gotta do it. Because majority of the decisions that we make in our lives are either life or death or life changing. Because there's a difference. Life changing and life threatening. Life changing, yeah, you still gonna be alive. Life threatening,
It can be good.
either
It can
I'm
be
gonna
bad.
die, yeah, either I'm gonna die or I'm gonna survive. So yeah, I wasn't expecting the best when President Biden taking over. I knew what the deal was, but see, that's what a businessman does and a businesswoman does. They outweigh the good and the bad. How bad is it now? How bad is it with this person? If the freaking good outweighs the bad for the person that you want to stay in, you will make that decision for the person, even though you don't like it. Like I had to bite my tongue sometimes when I'm a Ford fanatic. You can tell my girlfriend about it. Where I have friends that come in, I'm gonna use a Chevrolet for example, because you know how much I hate Chevrolets. I'm like, business decision. Either I'm just gonna drive my car out there to wherever they live or wherever they're gonna go and waste my gas and don't drink when I get there, or I just bite my tongue, get in the car, and just hang out with my boys so I can drink so they can drive me back home. Ladies and gentlemen, that is a business decision. Not a decision that you're gonna like, but guess what? It has to be made. So for all of y'all so-called pro-black out there that's still criticizing us black folks that actually do give a damn about what goes on in our community, and if we vote Democrat or Republican, at least we're doing something rather than thinking that if we don't vote that they still got to come to you. They're not going to come to you. You could be tax paying all you want to. There's probably a freaking something I got online that I'm still paying for that I know nothing about and don't even use. But then when I find out that I'm sitting there still paying them and I'm complaining about it, I was the one that sit there and made the decision to get in the first place. So take some responsibility. Nobody should not take no responsibility of you when you should be the one to step up to take responsibility and accountability for your goddamn self. Which lead me to this point here. The reason why this mess that's happening in this country right now, these two mass shootings, and unfortunately, I guarantee you there will be more to come. It's our fucking faults because we allow these politicians to go up in here and do whatever the fuck they want to, and we just sit at home. I'm gonna call it like it is. We are living in an era where it's all about mind my own business until shit like this happened to you. Shit happened in your neighborhood where it hits home for you. And then when you realize when you got people that had the same mindset like you do, don't even care about you, now all of a sudden it's fuck the world. You put this out there. Like I said, you're the businessman and woman of your life. Your life is your business. And for your business to work, you got to have some other people help your business while you're helping their business. You can't sit there and say the world's sucking, the world's full of all these people when you got the same damn mindset too. Where you see somebody who got a freaking flat tire inside the road, you chose to drive off. But then when you have a flat tire, and then that same person that you drove by the other day that had a flat tire drove by you, now all of a sudden, fuck them. They're just giving the same energy back.
Can't do that, man. That only works. That only works when you're walking and you see someone, and someone you know sees you, honks the horn and drives by, but doesn't offer a ride. And then the tables are turned. Then you can be like, "Fuck you," and then you're justified in that thought.
Mm-hmm. You are basically.
The first example, no, you're a dick. If you feel that way, you're a dick.
So you're basically doing the same thing that they're going to do to you. Mm-hmm. Whatever you put out in the world, you surely get back. Right. It's an investment. You invest hate into the world, guess what? They're going to give that right back to you 10 times fold or 3 times fold. Wherever folds y'all all believe in. So pertaining to what's going on right now, it's our fault too. We need to start putting the mirror on our damn selves and saying, how can we change this? Because a lot of y'all don't actually contact y'all politicians. A lot of y'all don't go to your city hall, town hall
like
meeting.
This? Even down to a local, just like a local standpoint, for those that still don't want to be political, how can you avoid being put in situations like that or lessen the effect and lessen the chance of a fatality if you end up in a situation like that? Like our comparative black men having cop issues. or just having bad run-ins with cops. I can say from my personal standpoint, I've only had like 2 issues with cops. One of them, he was trigger happy, and I wasn't gonna let it go that way. But the other one, they had every fucking right, and at multiple points, I told them they need to, because I was emotionally and mentally not in a good place and put in a position in a situation that should not have been done the way it did. It happened. And there's kids involved. And I know y'all being petty and his family. And at that point, I told the officers it would be in your best interest if y'all go ahead and unholster your guns. Because if you think I'm going to let these heifers get away with anything, I can't stop them from taking my nephew. Okay, I made peace with that. But if you think I'm about to let these bitches in my mama's house after I just buried her while I'm trying to get rid of her stuff, and y'all just hit me with this shit and I'm doing all this shit by myself, you are sadly fucking mistaken. And y'all might as well shoot me now. Because if they get in this house, past that living room, I'm going to crack their fucking skulls open. And I told this to the cops' faces, with my neighbors watching me, looking at me like, you've lost your fucking mind. Yes, I have. I thought I made that plainly clear when they arrived and hit me with this bullshit. I am not in the right mental state for this. And now you want to do this. So, yes, I'm going to fucking act a fool. And it's only by the grace of God that these men understood and were there. Well, they were there for me, not for them.
Right.
Because, I multiple times. I mean, multiple times a black man tells the cops, I'm going to kill somebody. You better shoot me right now.
Right. And this is why we need to be more active in our communities.
We need to be more knowledgeable.
Right.
Be more active. Be more aware.
Look, I'm gonna break some news to y'all. Right. I'm gonna break some news to y'all.
Breaking news here.
Everything is freaking political. Everything's political. I don't want to be political. To me, is you don't.
Bitch, you ain't trying to live
in the game. Right.
No, you ain't trying to live. Just kill yourself.
You don't want to play the game. And what I'm not meaning to play the game as
it's the game of life.
And all that stuff.
No, it's the game of life.
You want to just be a spectator. You want to be a spectator. You want to be in the peanut gallery. But then when the coach sit there and say, hey, I need you to step in. Oh, no, coach, no, coach. But you want to just be in the audience. You want to be on the sideline.
There are
and
no
you want to tell us how to live our lives.
Game.
But then when you but then when you get called out on your BS, now all of a sudden you want to play victim. Everything's political. Everything. To the things that you eat, to the things that you wear, to the things that you listen to the women or men that you date.
To the way you breathe, blink, and live from day to day. Bitch is all political.
So every time when I hear people, I don't want to be political. You are political. Everything's political. Even to the things that you watch that make you laugh, it's political. So if you
That's
say
why
that you're
they
not
don't
political,
talk politics at dinner.
Right. When you say that you're not political or don't want to talk about politics, you are accepting what's going on outside these doors. You're accepting the atmosphere that you walk into every day. You're accepting that somebody, if you're a person of color that is Black, Hispanic, well, not Mexican, whatever, and you say that you're not political, you accept whatever somebody else calls you. And you shouldn't get mad. You should accept all the taxes that you get. You should accept that, oh, snap, my woman can't get an abortion. Now this baby's mine. Now all of a sudden, we having issues. Now I got to pay child support. You should not complain. And flipping on the women too. Now that you can't have an abortion, but you're not political, you can't complain that you can't get an abortion now. You can't complain. You cannot complain. So for all the people that sit there saying, I don't want to be political, I don't want to be political, I'm not political, you accept all the wrong, including some of the good and the bad that happens outside your doors. And you should not complain at
It's
all.
on. We got to
You
go on the
shouldn't
flip now.
even
We got to go on
complain.
the flip.
You should, yep, yeah. You
'Cause
can't
everything
complain
is the
when
acceptance.
McDonald's, mhm,
You know why
compliance,
you can't complain?
all that.
Because refuses. Because
Hmm.
everything that you accepted, you also refused to acknowledge your existence. You refuse to live because politics is a part of life. It's the game of life.
Hmm. And now,
So you're
what you do?
refusing to live. You're refusing to be to contribute. You're refusing to acknowledge and accept. You're refusing to be worth anything.
Hmm. And when you do that, you cannot complain about nothing.
Mm-hmm.
If knock on wood, I hope it does not happen to anybody's school what happened in Texas.
God
But
forbid.
if it does,
God forbid.
if it does, and it affects you directly or indirectly, you cannot complain. You will have to accept what the police or the media tells you. You
Because
cannot
you
even.
refused to look within yourself and find the truth, and you refused to put
Mhm.
yourself in a position where you could avoid these type of situations.
Right, because you don't believe in politics. So, ladies and gentlemen, if you say that you not political or don't want to talk politics, you accept
Go
everything
jump
that
off a
happens
cliff.
to you. Right.
Go jump off a cliff, you fucking limit.
Right. You accept everything that's happening outside your door and as well as in your household. So, once again, for us to not have these issues like this, I won't say ever again, but to come to the solutions of these mass shootings. Like I said, this is beyond guns. This is recognizing this has been America since its inception, even before America became America.
But even back then,
We
the amount of
need,
babies dying was
right.
minimal compared.
If you want change in your community, you have to do the work and you have to be a force to be reckoned with in your community. Once again, being a force in your community
Exactly.
is not having rallies and protests. Like I said, protests don't work anymore. You have to get the people or yourself or a group of y'all in positions of power. Start a super PAC, super PAC, super PAC, super PAC, super PAC to groom the politicians or to buy and rent politicians that's in right now. And another super PAC to turn your issues into agendas and get started local. Go to every single one of your teacher student conferences. Go to every city and town hall. Don't just go there because of a freaking mass shooting or cops killing another unarmed black person or anybody
Hell,
for that matter.
if you
I'm gonna take
can't
the
if
mail.
you
Yeah,
can't go, just go online and see what they talk about and read up
right,
on it.
right. And I'm gonna take a male approach to this. Anybody who gets shot by the police for wrongdoing, you, you should still be there, but it should not be the reason for you to go to these town hall meetings. You should be there for funding or new developmental properties. Like over here, they building up like crazy over here for also injustices or new
Yeah.
proposals for festivals or whatever. Your community gets funding. Like the census, like I didn't know anything about the census, and a lot of us black folks don't even do anything with the census and wonder why our community is so in poor states. It's because a lot of us don't participate in the census, because when you participate in the census or your status or whatever, that's how much money your community or that district gets.
Mhm.
But see, we don't participate in that. I think the census is like every 10 years, I believe. Every 5 years. I could be wrong.
10
But I
years.
know, yeah, 10 years. Okay, so 10 years. And then you wonder why your school systems are so fucked. Yes, y'all deserve the funding, but also, once again, you gotta put that mirror on yourself. What am I doing? If I'm
They
still
can't
going through the
fund. They
same
can't
issue,
fund it properly if they don't know exactly how many kids is there.
right? Or who you are. What do? You got a business or you work a 9 to 5? Are you a male or you a female? How old are your kids? Are your kids in school? If they are they in elementary? Are they in middle school? Are they in high school? Are they in college? Trade school? All these questions. How long you been living at this address? So we have to put the mirror on ourselves when crazy shit goes down in this country. What are we doing? If you are out there, and no offense to all the activists out there, but somebody have to tell you this shit. It is not about the end game. When you out here and you protesting, and I'm talking to Black Lives Matter too. When you're out here and you're protesting, you're in front of the freaking sheriff's offices, you in front of the freaking federal buildings, or in front of the freaking justices buildings, whatever places you are, you have to turn the mirror back on you. What type of force or backing is going to get all of our issues to becoming agendas that is talked about every day, just like any other freaking budget, about war, about freaking medical, about everything? Where it's just not a hot topic that some senator wants to say, what are we doing? Or this is what we're doing. And I find it on freaking Instagram like, oh, that was a sick burn by the senator. No. What force, what power backing do you have when you say something, it's going to go through? What people do you have in power that's going to push it through and make it stick? Not even make it stick, make it into a law, make it into a
Like it
policy.
means something.
Right. Give it an executive order. And this also goes out to the people who think when you don't vote, you got power. What power do you got behind that other than a
Back to
vote?
my drug reference.
What
Oh,
power? Right.
you don't want
What?
my dope. Okay. I know they want it.
Mhm. What
And they
power do
gonna
you
act
have
right,
behind that?
and they gonna pay you up front, and they gonna pay prompt. Why the hell I got to deal with you again? I'll come
Right.
over there if they call me at 2, 3, 7 in the morning.
And look
Bitch,
at
you
how many
better not
people I'm
call
gonna
me
bring.
after 9.
Right. And look at how many people that I'm gonna bring over. So what power do you have when you sitting on your ass and voting? Oh, because you're a tax paying taxes, you're a taxpayer. Now you recognize that you're an American now? You think that politician's gonna give a damn? Politicians could give a damn that y'all a group of 100,000 people that hold their votes. What power do y'all have behind that? What power? If your group is not being recognized or being a movers and shakers of, hey, I'm not going to vote because
Okay,
I want
okay.
my
See,
reparations.
say that one more time, please. Say that one more time, please.
What power do you have if you have 100,000 that sit there and say, well, I ain't going to vote and all that stuff? You think the politicians are going to care?
Mm,
You think they care?
I'm sorry, I just had a
Do
Kevin
you
Samuels
think?
moment.
Do you think just because it's 100,000 of you that not going to vote because y'all want reparations and not understanding you have to have people in position of power so that can get pushed and so that can get passed?
And not put yourself
Because
in a position to see that come to fruition. Why should I worry?
right,
Why should I care?
and going back to all those groups that I mentioned, like the LGBTQ community, when they say they're gonna not gonna vote, you want to know why they got power? Because they got groups like GLAD. Because GLAD can go to any of those politicians that they got in their pockets or the
And they
people they
got the
put in power.
ACLU.
Right. They got the people in
which is a white
power,
man's version of the NAACP, basically,
NAACP,
but better.
which, but these organizations like GLAAD, when they got the LGBTQ, say we're not voting for them. We're not voting for them. They're gonna pull that
Yeah,
politician, be like, look, we gave you
nigga,
this much for
you
your
need to get in
campaign.
line, or you need to fall behind. What's it gonna be?
Right. Because we can put our money over there with them. We can put our endorsement, the freaking publicity, everything over there with them if you don't fall in line. And people don't understand that is some mafia type shit. Because if you in cahoots with the damn mafia and you decide to do something different, you will get a visit. The first one's going to be a warning.
A
The
conversation
second,
will be had.
right. And the second time they have to come over, it ain't going to be pleasant.
Let's hope
And
it does
everybody,
not need a discussion.
because a lot of these folks that sit there and say, well, I'm just not going to vote, I'm just going to sit on it, haven't thoroughly looked
All
at
right.
movies like Scarface. Because even in freaking Scarface, where he was supposed to take out that one dude that was going to go to the United Nations and say that America and South America got
Yeah,
a coke problem, he was supposed to kill him before he got to the freaking UN. But he didn't because he had a soft side for kids. And you saw how all that happened. So imagine using that scenario, other than the killing and the bombing, using that scenario where you got a
that's disrespect.
politician,
Yeah.
right? And you have a politician that was who supported the LGBTQ cause, had the biggest block of their votes to help him or her win, and now all of a sudden forget who put them in their position of power, and now
Exactly.
they gotta go check them. And their power are groups like GLAAD that goes up to them like, look here, Jack, you got a election coming up soon. You got a runoff coming up soon. And this person that's running against you is making a whole lot of sense. I just had a conversation with them. So if you don't
Gee, you
pass,
make no sense.
right, if you don't pass this legislation, if you don't pass this policy, you don't pass this bill, only thing that's going to pass for you is your time in office. And we're going to give this other cat a chance.
Yeah.
Because we're going to put everything in their backing.
Go watch the movie,
And
The Campaign. That's exactly how they get down.
And y'all do not understand that one bit. And this is why things like this are happening. People don't understand how deep this situation is. And that's why.
Because they've grown comfortable.
Very comfortable. So
convenience kills.
Because when you don't vote or contribute to your community, you're being detrimental to your community. You can't come up on here on YouTube and sit there and troll and sit there and say, I'm just going to hold my vote. The Democrat Party destroying the party, and not understanding that what you're saying is very problematic. I'm not sitting there saying that I'm fully in support of the Democrat Party because I believe the Democrat Party is fucked. But when you say the Democrat Party is this thing, this party that's destroying black folks, and you can't pinpoint what the Democrat Party is doing, who's doing it, and what policies that they're doing to destroy the black community. Because last time I checked, right, you just can't sit there and say generalize a big problem. It's like sitting there saying my car sucks because you got a flat tire. Well, you could just go in there and just be like, man, my car's fucked. Why's your car fucked? Because it got a flat tire. Change it. Do you got a spare? But still, my car's fucked. I can't do nothing.
Wow.
See, people like to generalize issues and problems. And like I said, and on this show, I do criticize the Democrat Party. I do. But at the same time, if they have if they got a problem that I don't like, I'm gonna mention the problem and who's the problem, what the policy is. So don't sit there and continue to blame the Democrat Party.
No.
You need to blame yourselves because you're not doing anything to change it. And I'm not sitting there saying that y'all need to vote, but also for the people that do vote, you need to analyze these politicians.
Understand what the votes are for and what the type of stuff that they're requiring votes for. Like I said, we're
That
not saying we're not forcing you to get political and be the next fucking alderman or be Chris Rock or some shit in the head of state. No, we're just asking you at the end of the day to add some information to your opinions. If you
Right.
disagree with something, if you say, I don't like Burger King, give me at least 2 valid reasons. One can be personal and one can be generally personal, meaning that at least 2 other random people will hear it and be like, yeah, I kind of agree. Like, I
Right.
don't like McDonald's. Why? Because it's the only place I know or the only place close by where I can get me some ice cream, but that motherfucker ain't never working. I don't want a
Right.
shake, I'll be wanting ice cream. Ain't no Dairy Queen around. Or, okay, that's valid. First one,
Yeah, it's valid.
exactly. I just
Right.
don't like it. I just don't. I repeat it. I just don't, and repeating it don't mean shit.
I like McDonald's. Why don't you like McDonald's? Well, their food's always nasty. Okay, what
Democrats
did you
ain't shit. Why ain't they shit? I mean,
like who?
a lot of people will agree with you that yeah, they ain't shit. But what are your personal reasons or perspective on why they ain't shit? Like when people say, "Well, somebody says you ain't shit," oh, they're probably right. But what was their reason?
Right. What's the reasons? Who is saying all these things?
I don't give a shit who was saying it. I said, what was the reason?
But I mean, those are one of the things I would like to clarify. Like who? Because I know, knowing you, Beast, you would care less if it's somebody who said, like, yeah, I know they always talk shit about me, but what was the reason? You just can't say I ain't shit and you don't have a reason.
Like with me, because I say a whole bunch of crazy shit anyway, and at this point in time, so I've said so much crazy shit that I've been quoting on stuff that I honestly can't definitively say I didn't say it. It damn sure sounds like some shit I would say, and I have to understand, like, what's the whole context behind this? Because it sounds like I said this shit, but I really don't remember being in that situation to say it. But it does sound like me, though.
Right. And so, bottom line is, ladies and gentlemen, we have to take accountability and responsibility of what's going on, not only in our communities, but what happens with these 2 mass shootings. Actually do the work. Actually put yourself in positions of power. So things like this not only can be avoided, but won't happen again. Right. And understand the politics in your community. And most of all, stay away from people that say, I don't want to talk about politics. I don't want to be political or anything like that. Stay away from those people. Because those people don't have a backbone, and those are the same people that will watch you on the side of the road with a flat tire and keep it pushing and still will say hi to you the next day like nothing happened. Stay away from folks like that, period. And BC, anything you gotta say? Because we're about to go to our final thoughts.
Make sure you understand the things that you are accepting, because when you accept certain things, you're refusing others.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's certain things you don't need to be refusing. There's a lot of shit we don't need to be accepting. So really sit there and think about what you saying and what you professing that you feel when you make these statements.
Right. Speaking of statements, let's go. Yeah, let's go ahead and get into these final thoughts. Once again, I want to thank everybody for tuning in, either live or even our recorded show on the Wet Network. I'm gonna let Beast be first at bat, but since I'm the one that's doing the final thought, it's time for us to finally make that trip, make that visit to Beast Community. Beast, are you ready?
I'm ready, sir.
So everybody, jump in the car. Please don't touch nothing. Just have a seat, because we're about to take a trip to Beast Community.
Good evening. Good evening. I'm going to elaborate a little bit more on the acceptance and refusals, and kind of talk about a little trendy thing we got with the hoochie daddy shorts and hoochie daddy summer and shit, and just this whole vibe of what I call the complete 180, where men have now completely taken on the actions, prevalent actions of women, and are now understanding and regurgitating a lot of the mindsets and mentalities that these women have when it comes to their prospective mate and partner for life. So you got a lot of dudes that saying shit that women kind of want to say, but they're not really in the position to get away with saying it. Like, I don't want a chick with kids. Like me personally, I'm 38, got my own shit. I work, got a good full-time job, got my own business. I do what I need to do for myself. I take care of myself. And I've always been able to do that and still been able to help folk at the same time when called upon. So women will see that and I do worth investing with, but when it comes to me, I'll be with a woman with kids, but preferably no more than two, unless they are with the same daddy, because that just shows me as a man that as far as the kids to the baby daddy situation go, that was actual relationship. As far as time was invested, it didn't work out for whatever reason. It's on me to figure out how much of it was on her. Nonetheless, that's how I feel. And I got that right to say that. I ain't saying I wouldn't be with no girl with kids, but it's a small amount because I'm willing to step up and be not a stepdaddy, but a daddy, because that's how I was raised. So I take care of the kids, but trust and believe, if they get out of line, I will discipline them. And I reserve that right for the fact that if you're in my home, I'm feeding you and sheltering you and protecting you and acknowledging you in your existence in my little world, I'm doing that as if you're mine. You're my child. That's why you're here and that's how I'm going to treat you. So you're going to get that love, but you also going to get that discipline if your ass get out of line. I ain't saying I'm going to beat you, but don't try me. And I'll let that shit be known. I accept the fact that I may, be in a relationship with a woman, but I refuse to be in a relationship with a woman with children that don't got respect for their own mama, or that I will have to actually do that degree of disciplinary action upon them. Like, I ain't trying to be with no girl who got kids. I'm gonna have to be. Nah. Whether she cool with it or not, really, I just don't want to do that. Nah. That's not worth it, especially if the daddy's still in life too. Hell no, that's just too much. There's things I accept, these things I refuse. But these things come from acknowledging, accepting, and taking accountability of everything on both sides. Your shit, they shit, and the other shit you don't know about, and the shit you're gonna fuck around and find out. But if you ain't trying to take accountability for yourself first and foremost, all that other shit negates it. If you don't accept your own bullshit and accept the fact that you need to change yourself across all levels and all spectrums of your being, then you are refusing to truly put yourself in the position to get the things that you desire and aspire for. You're refusing to truly live out your dream when you refuse to accept who you truly are and accept that you need help and you can always better yourself. The point of every day is to be better than the day before and prepare yourself to be that much better for the next day. If you cannot accept this, you're refusing to live life and live your life the way you're supposed to, and you're a lemming, and I will repeat it, go jump off a fucking cliff. That is my end of my rant, and I thank you for coming back to the community once again. And just remember, if you're going to accept something, make sure the refusel's worth it. Now you the floor.
Once again, Beast, thank you for that, Ben. You sure is right. You got me thinking something entirely differently over here. But other than that, first of all, I'd like to thank everybody for tuning into the show. I want to say this, and I want to be perfectly clear when I say this. Your thoughts and your prayers don't work. I repeat, your thoughts and prayers do not work. Every time when I have a friend or individual that I know or going through it that has somebody pass away, I will say my positive vibes. Sometimes I do mention thoughts, so it's to you and your family because there's only so much you can do when you have a friend or somebody that's going through. There's only so much you can do. But to intentionally just say that, just to say that, hey, I did what I can. That's where the issue and the problem is. Or that you could have done something. That's the problem. So when you hear people, politicians sitting there saying, well, I would have given my thoughts and prayers out to the people and, da 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 with this shooting, but you could have done something. You could have done something to have all this mess avoided. So why should I care about your prayer? But let's go in on your thoughts. When you pass all these bills or just put your nose up about hearing not only just politicians on the opposite side of the aisle, but parents, concerned citizens saying we need more gun control. And your thoughts was, pass more lax bills. I'm just going to turn my nose up and pretend that I'm not hearing your lefties, hearing what y'all saying about more gun control and all that stuff. And I'm not just only just talking about Texas. We're just going to pretend that gun violence is a big issue. You're basically saying the quiet part out loud, as they've been saying as of late, that you do acknowledge that gun violence is a part of American history. But hey, we can talk about gun violence that made this country what it is, but let's leave out CRT, which not only is a part of American history, it is American history. Because without those slaves, America, well, the fabric of America, wouldn't be here. You just want to, how can I put it? Get that little step when you go meet old Jesus Christ or Allah or whoever you, well, mainly it's Christian, so I don't need to mention all the other religions, but meet old Jesus Christ up there so you can sit there where he could just go through the list, as y'all would say, go through a list of what you did good and what you did bad. So every time when it was a freaking mass killing or somebody dying under your watch because of the police, and all you can say is, or got on record saying, my thoughts and prayers with you. Now, if Jesus, because I believe Jesus is within you, not in the sky, but to y'all logic, if Jesus was a critical thinking man or woman, or a spirit that's all knowing, you don't think Jesus is going to be like, okay, your thoughts and prayers, but what did you do after the fact? Did you do something or pass a bill or a policy or did an executive order to stop these killings from happening? Because according to my records, you only passed more bills and policies to make it worse or didn't do anything. So why should I allow you in these pearly gates to eternal life with my Father, the Lord and Savior? Why should I allow you to go up in there with all those kids, all those parents, all those innocent lives that were lost under your watch? You feel how deep that is? And if you don't feel how deep that is, there's something wrong with you. You are the problem in America. If you didn't feel how deep that scenario, if it was true, is. Because if something that keeps happening and you keep putting your nose up in the air or continue to make it worse directly or indirectly, you are at blame. You are at fault. As a public servant, not only just the police, but also to the politicians. When something is wrong, it is your job to fix it, to come up with the solution that this does not happen again, or just put something there in place so we can avoid it happening again. Not just think this entity up above or this thing called the Bible is going to solve everything. So, just like me going into a diner and asking for what I want, yes, I would take your 8-ounce steak, medium rare, with a Coke on the side. But please, hold the thoughts and the prayers. They do nothing for me. They do nothing to solve this situation. It does not bring any of those kids or the wives and the fathers back. So spare us with the thoughts and prayers and the moment of silence. Because number one, they're not going to come back. Number two, we all know it's just a little dash. You can sit there and say, well, at least I did care. When you in position of power to do something about it and change it. Is gun control a step? Yes. But it's not the end all be all. It's also up to us as the regular people, us, to do our part. But politicians, not to take too much of the heat off you, you can make the change right now. You can put in a policy to not only help, but to stop these mass shootings from happening. Take accountability and responsibility. You were put there for a reason. So rather than your thoughts and your prayers, this is from a concerned citizen. and citizens like myself that think the same way or similar. As we all say, do your fucking job. And with that, I yield the floor. Another contested show beast,
Very
man.
cathartic.
Yeah,
But
very. And yeah,
these things need to be said. So
most definitely. And I like to thank everybody for tuning in. And for those who's going to be watching on our recorded show on the Wet Network, we like to thank y'all for tuning in, as well as, first of all, Teach, we love you if you watch it. I usually show a video of you. She actually came on the show last time. And she actually stayed on for a long time, even though she said that she wasn't going to be there for long. But she stayed in there, and it was just me, her, and Billingsley, and we had a great conversation. So, Teach, shout out, and also shout out to Billingsley. He couldn't make it on the show today. So, hopefully next Monday he will be on. But other than that, it's been real.
yes.
The next show, I don't know what we're going to talk about, man, because right now I can't even get set topics because so many things happen.
Hopefully it's something positive.
Yeah, hopefully.
I want to talk about puppy dogs and daffodils. Goddamn it!
Right. so we just gonna see what's gonna happen during the week, and we're gonna give you a heads up of what's going on. Before I go, I'm gonna start doing this for now on before we head on out. Beast, do you have any other projects other than our faded show that's gonna be coming soon that you got going on that you want the world to know?
Yes, we aside from Faded, which will be a group panel show. I'm pulling the Donnell on that one, so
yeah,
I'm just kind of there. I was going to be there, but this is going to be a larger panel than the original. But we're definitely going to be able to talk about the quote unquote trendy Black things with the same intelligence, vigor, and articulation, and goal for a solution as we do on the main show. And I myself am working on getting my own little personal podcast, ROR, Rounds of Randomness.
Mm-hmm.
And I can't speak on anything else right now because I'm still trying to work out the logistics with Sky Zone and the Web Network. But we will speak on that. We will speak on that a little later. I got you on that though.
All right, cool, got you. And speaking of that, yeah, working on the for me working on the outline of hashtag Faded, and for me. Need some subscribers to the Substack.com, the Alamante News. I've been doing it for about a year. I'm now getting back into the groove of doing podcast shows and all that stuff. So check it out. You know, I write articles about what's been going on in the world, also what's been going on here on hashtag Fade to Black. Let's just say I take it a little step further. So subscribe and tell your friends about Substack.com. Once again, S-U-B stack STACK.com. Look for the Alamante Show News. I'll be putting all my content and podcasts on there, giving my thoughts and takes, not only just on politics, but also sports and what's been going on in my daily life too, as well. And also, big news for us, we're going to start broadcasting on Mixcloud as well. Yes, you heard right. Mixcloud. We're going to start doing broadcasting our shows on there too as well, and we'll be the official home of of hashtag Faded. But with that being said, as for my bro, Mr. Beast Johnson, Samuel Savage, and your gracious host Donna Alamante Moore, thank y'all for tuning in to another edition, to a new installment of hashtag Fade to Black. Hopefully y'all like the new graphics. More to come. Thank y'all for tuning in. It's been real. Bye now. Catch y'all later.
Peace.
See y'all. Bye.
Yeah, I'm flipping, spitting these lyrics. Got you feeling what I be saying like you caught the Holy Spirit now. I done went through some shit up in my past, but it fertilized visualize my future, now I'm harvesting my cash. I like 'em pretty, but they can't be hot, so did it. Talking like I'm gon' buy what you want, you think it's silly, girl.